Hey, welcome to Energize and Revitalize with Dr. Amy. If you've been following the show, you know that I've been hiking parts of the Appalachian Trail along with my husband, Jerry. And each time we go out on the trail, we'll do an episode to talk about the experience and the lessons learned. But today, I wanted to take just a minute to talk about what happens behind the scenes. So, what goes into planning each trip? So, let's get into it. So, when I'm choosing to hike on the trail, and just a summary, we've been day hiking little sections, sometimes for a week, sometimes hopefully we'll get to 2 weeks soon. But there are certain things we need to do to plan each trip. So, step one, choose the location. So, the trail runs through 14 states from Georgia to Maine, and it stretches approximately 2,190 miles. And so we're just breaking it down into little sections, and we're not going in order. We're just going where it makes sense to us. So here's what I consider. The first thing is the time of the year. So it's about the weather, right? So we don't want to go in the northern states during winter months when it's colder. And we want to be concerned during the summer in the southern states, it's going to be a little warmer. Though all the states, they are in the mountains, or most of the trail is through the mountains, so the weather can be quite unpredictable. So even though we do all these things, we still have to be flexible. So that's the first thing. The second thing I look at is, where are the thru hikers? So traditionally, most thru hikers will start in Georgia in March, and that can make some of the southern parts of the trail, they can get a little crowded in the spring. Other people do it in the other direction. It's not as crowded there. So when I'm thinking, let's say I'm going in May, I'm going to think, okay, where are most of the thru hikers going to be? Where's that bubble? And I'm going to go in a different part. That's the second thing. So once we pick the time of the year we want to go, we're going to plan the route. So what state are we going in? There are two things I can look at to help me plan the route. The first, this is the AT guide. Now this guide has all the trailheads, all the road crossings, all the shelters, all kinds of good information about what's in between each point. So in order for me to plan a section to hike, I need trailheads, or I need roads to cross through them, because I have to be able to get on and off the trail. The way we're doing it, we have a guide or a driver meet us wherever we're going to end for the day. We park our car there, and then the driver will take us to the beginning, and then we'll just hike to our car. But the challenging part is seeing where those road crossings are. Sometimes it's really easy to tell, but sometimes it's not. So then I have a second thing I look at. So I start here. And this guide also, it shows elevation. I don't know if you can see that, but if I'm hiking between these 2 points, I can see if it goes up and goes down. And that helps quite a bit as well. Then I have a good old-fashioned map. Now, this is a series from National Geographic. They have the whole thing. There are about 12 of these little guys here. So this is the one from the section we just did, which we ended up in Damascus. So once I have the proposed road crossings, trailheads, I look on the map and I make sure that it makes sense. And sometimes it doesn't. And that's where we get to phase three, where when I contact my driver, I say, okay, these are the routes we think we're doing. And they know the roads, they're local, they know where the trailheads are. So as long as they say, oh yeah, that's some place we can access by car, no big deal. If they don't know it, then I have to second guess. Now, there are apps that we can use, and that's something I'm still working on. So I did download the Far Out app, and you can buy the whole Appalachian Trail map to download onto your phone. And I still need to learn how to use it, but there was a section, I wasn't sure if we could get to it, and I found it on the app. It's on a dirt road. We ended up not trying it this time, but I could see it. I could get coordinates for it. I could get directions to it. So that's something I'm going to use more in the future. It's very promising. So typically I plan to do between 8 and 12 miles a day right now. There are some sections on here where it's not possible to do that length, where we have to go a little longer. So we're going to work up to that. But as we mentioned, you have to be flexible because it doesn't always work out the way you've planned. We're also doing it where we plan in rest days, where we can go explore the local towns and really just be part of the culture. So super fun. Okay, the third thing I have to plan is where are we sleeping? So we're not camping, at least right now, we're not planning on doing that. So we've mostly been staying in Airbnbs. There are tons along the trail. These towns are made to cater to hikers. So there are also more affordable lodging options. But right now we're staying in the Airbnb. We like something, if it's perfect, it has a view. We like a hot tub because after those long days on the trail, it's nice to kind of just soak and relax. We like to be near the town with interesting restaurants, things to see. With an Airbnb, we can cook if we want to. Usually at the end of it, because we walk kind of slow, so we're kind of tired at the end of the day. So we usually will go out to eat. And also, Wi-Fi is important right now because I'm still working. I'm still working on the podcast and, of course, writing. So, unfortunately, I'm not unplugged just yet. So, we do need a place that has reliable Wi-Fi. Okay, so step 4 is finding the shuttle driver. And I mentioned that part already. So again, the AT guide, each section has a list of shuttle drivers. It also has information about the local towns, places to eat even. So I've been getting my shuttle driver recommendations from here. And it's worked out well so far. So again, I go over the route and the times we want to meet the driver, the dates I need, um, you know, and get a feel for the fees, make sure it's something that we want to pay for. And again, so far it's worked out for us. Step 5, check the weather. So I look, sometimes you can find the average weather for that time of year, and then I look right before we go. And again, that can be unpredictable. The weather can change at the last minute, especially in the mountains. So this last trip we did, we got snow, but we sort of knew it was coming, so we were able to adjust our day off the trail so that we weren't in the worst of the snowstorm. And again, there are other times it might rain, and you need to be prepared for that. In the summer, you want to prepare for the heat because that can be an issue as well. So far, we've been hiking in the southern states. We live in Florida, so we've just been driving our vehicle to where we want to hike. Once we get started on the northern routes, we might have to consider flying up there. It just depends on how much time we have to spend. Of course, if we have a longer period of time, driving a couple days isn't a big deal. So we'll see. And step 6, be flexible because it doesn't always work out as planned. And I am a planner. I love it, but that's the biggest thing I've learned with this journey so far is plans are great, but sometimes you have to pivot and do something a little different. So check out our longer episodes for recaps of our hikes with photos. We also have a blog on the Amethyst Wellness webpage, amethystwellness.com. Stay tuned for the next part of our adventure. And until next time, here's to your best life and keep choosing what energizes and revitalizes your life.